Hey, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody.
Hey,
Glad to be back. Glad to be back. We're ready to get this show on the road.
Back in blue.
That's right.
Back in blue.
So here we go. All right. Hello, I'm Matt.
Hey, I'm Luke.
And we're the founders of the People's Champions International. We thank you for viewing and subscribing our YouTube channel and podcast at People's Champions International. We appreciate your insights and comments, which you can send via comments directly, or you can email us at peopleschampions.international@gmail.com. So welcome to round 9, where we're elevating what people can do. And, it's all about discussing the impacts of artificial intelligence on our lives. And so today's round is going to take a look at the impact that artificial intelligence is having on the education sector. And so Luke's got a real compelling article and some visual aids that we're going to be looking at here. And I can't believe what he's about to share. So Luke, have at it.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And so first off, let me say it's not our intention or my intention certainly to hit week to week on solely the concerning things that are coming out regarding AI. It does seem like the news and journalists do hit on that primarily, and that's kind of the shock and awe factor. So there's more of that coming at us. I do want to reiterate that we see some very important utility with the AI, within the AI space, and it can be extremely beneficial to humanity. And in this article, we'll hit on one small example of that. But examining this article and situation as a whole was pretty shocking. It was the first time I'd seen AI being given an actual job title at an organization. And not only that, but to see how humanized this was beyond just the job title. I don't want to sound overly dramatic, but it was chilling to me. And honestly, I was just like, It's crazy. So I do want to share that again to create further awareness of, what's definitely not ideal for humanity. But I do also want to touch on one positive aspect of this article, which I think aligns with some of the things that we personally see as a benefit to AI in particular situations. So let me share this article right quick. And basically, what occurred here was there's a $35,000 a year tuition school, private school across the pond. So think they probably have to have some money. It's not like they're broke and need to use AI, you wouldn't think. But they appointed an AI chatbot as their principal head teacher. Now, overseas there in the UK, the principal head teacher is often used interchangeably as with the principal.
Role, yes.
Yeah. So at first glance, it's that, was this a principal? Mm-hmm. It's essentially a co-principal. So it says the ChatGPT-like tool has been described as a calming influence by the school's human head teacher. So they have a human principal and an AI principal. And it goes on to now, first off, let me back up. This photo is of this AI principal. That is not a real human. That is somebody that they created to look like a human. They were given a name. It shows here the AI chatbot named Abigail Bailey as its new principal. So they gave the job to AI. They made the AI look human instead of like anything else they could have chosen, and then they gave it a human being's name, and then they say we don't want to replace humans. A little bit odd. Anyway, it says while it might sound dystopian, it's not replacing current jobs, instead being used to support the needs of Cottesmore's current headmaster, Tom Robertson. So it's supposedly his assistant. Again, begs the question to me, if he just needs an AI assistant, why not just use a chat bot and call it the chat assistant or whatever? They're definitely humanizing this and giving it a job. Not only that, right here, if you see where I select, Abigail won't be the only chatbot joining. The school also appointed AI-powered chatbot Jamie Trainer as its head of artificial intelligence, a director-level role, head of AI, both tools adorning their own AI images. And here is Jamie. Jamie Rayner is Cottesmore's new head of AI. Jamie is not a real human being. Jamie, that's an AI photo. That's a human name, and he has a job. So again, they say, go ahead.
Oh, I was saying, in the article, it does say they did try to hire a real person, but they couldn't find the right fit. So they made the AI, they granted it the job, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. So I mean, that backs up what I had said that, while it's not quote unquote taking away, like nobody's losing their job. Well, somebody just lost the opportunity for a job because they weren't qualified. And this is. So anyway, It's concerning. The one positive I did want to point out, it touches on here, is that in this section, it's real lightly. I read about it deeper on another one, but it talks about how this particular principal slash headmaster will provide guidance on a wide range of issues, from drafting school policies to supporting children with ADHD. That's one example. It talked about how all these different students have different ways of learning. They might have different disabilities. They might have different quirks, different personalities. And with each of those, AI has so much knowledge in it that it can tailor those approaches. So I do think that there's utility to help people learn, people with learning disabilities. And then I really have a strong opinion on it going into medical and dental and all these things that it can actually help humanity by curing diseases, diagnosing things. So that's a positive, I feel like, but the rest of it, I don't know what you think, but I'm blown away.
Yeah, this is pretty stunning information. It was a very intriguing article to read. It definitely has some red flags and concerns. I mean, but then it has a couple positive points too, and we do want to emphasize that. I mean, even like a couple rounds from now, we're going to be focused on AI resourcing, how to utilize it a little better in the workplace or even in your personal life. But at the same time, when we read articles like this, we got to bring it to the people's attention. We don't want you to be complacent. We don't want you to be blindsided, because this is a concern. 9 to 10 months ago, the talk was, hey, we're not going to be replacing jobs with AI. It's only going to augment. Well, yeah, maybe here there is a co-principal and head teacher. It's a co-role, but what's going to happen here if the actual person resigns or moves on? Is the AI bot just going to stay in place and maybe they won't hire a principal? And they already admitted to they couldn't find the right person for the other role, so they they gave it to an AI. Come on, folks. This is real news. We're not making this up, and so it's going to tie into my comments here before we bring it in. The round in for a landing, but I just want to quote, from a local news source, Fox 13 in the Pacific Northwest. We had an article and a news story done by the news reporter Abby Coney back in September. Like 6-7 weeks ago or so, somewhere in there, maybe a little bit longer. But she did a piece on how Washington grapples with the future of AI in the classroom. And I want to tie into some comments. I do want to let everyone know, the people know, that I did reach out to Abby and invited her to be on our podcast. She, in writing, very graciously, which we cite anyways, but gave us permission to use our article and use her name throughout the conversation. And we very much appreciate that. We appreciate what she does for the region here locally as far as that goes. But with that, I just want to read a little bit from these excerpts on what the local school districts are saying about AI. And so just bear with me as I glance at my notes here. So on the, some of the concerning sides, the educators and families are a little bit concerned about privacy and security on platforms that use AI. So that's one of the comments that made. Some of the educators have come forward to say that AI could put them out of a job. But then the tech experts are saying that's not going to happen. But look at what Luke just covered. So we got to think through this. Their concerns are validated. They're saying teachers will always be needed. We're always going to need more counselors. But as schools grapple with budget needs, and they're maybe consolidating buildings and consolidating teaching roles, what are they really going to do? What are they really up to? And I think that's the questions that have to be asked. We have to ask those questions. And so just going through some of what the local public school systems are doing in the region. I'm just reading here some quotes. One school said they're exploring the rising influence of artificial intelligence in education, and they need to navigate it, the landscape, and recognize that AI is a powerful tool, and it's very important and going to be important to public education. And it has remarkable capabilities to address various student challenges. And so that may be the case, and that may be positive, along with some of the concerns that we're bringing up. And so that's what one school district is quoted saying. Let's see here. The other one was quoted saying that they have put together a technology advisory council that's comprised of parents, teachers, and other community members on how to prepare, for AI and education. And so that advisory council is going to be making recommendations to the school district on how to utilize AI in lesson design and instruction. Okay, once again, we have to weigh that out. That's why we present these. Is that positive, or is it concerning for teachers? And then let's see here. I think the last one that I want to quote, one last school district in the local area, actually is kind of lagging behind maybe these other ones a little bit, but they're saying that they don't have a formal policy regarding AI. they're working to understand a little bit more on what the impact's going to be. They're listening, they're watching about how it's going to work with student learning now and in the future. And so as they learn more, they may implement a policy and look into it further, but otherwise they haven't started, and so they're just sitting back kind of watching, which there is a little bit of insight and wisdom, I think, with that as well. But at the same time, we want to stay ahead of the game. We stress we don't want to be complacent. We don't want people. We don't want school districts. We don't want students. We don't want leaders or government officials to be blindsided by all this, because it's coming at us very quickly. This article out of England proves that point. And so, Luke, that's my comments that I want to share. Did you have any wrap-up dialogue that you wanted to bring up?
One thing off the cuff. Yeah, I appreciate all that perspective. And while you were talking about that and the potential for replacing teachers down the road, it kind of just brought my mind to how many children, especially in lower income, or if they're single family, single parent households, teachers are one of their only connections. That's their human to human connection and their peers, and thinking about how social media has changed. People are isolating themselves and just solely connecting through computers. They're connecting to real people, but it's through computers, and it's leading to higher suicide rates, depression, anxiety, and all these things. Well, now what if you take one of their only few other human to human contact away? There's just so many layers to this. And so things to think about. And that's just something I thought about.
There's so much to talk about. There's so much more in depth that we could go to on the impacts, the long-term impacts this could have just on society, communication skills, building confidence. It's very in depth, and it would take a lot more than the time that we have. And so,
right.
But we're gonna wrap up round 9 for today. And people, we have so much to talk about, as we just mentioned, and the media cannot and will not cover it all. And so we need you people, not AI, to stand with us, no matter where you're from, whether it's here in the United States or it's overseas, internationally, because we need you to contribute and promote what we're talking about. We want to hear your stories about people, businesses, and governments alike, whether they're using AI in a positive way or in an adversarial way, so we can hold them accountable.
Absolutely, that's right. So, we'd love if you'd add comments below. Please hit the like button, the thumbs up, subscribe. Add comments anywhere below our YouTube channel at People's Champions International. We've got more engaging content coming weekly, and we are looking forward to continuing to host guests. And we've got one lined up, I believe Matt does, in a couple of weeks here. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, a couple rounds from now, we do have a guest speaker come on. We're very excited about it. And on that note, if you're interested in being a guest, just reach out and let us know your name and why you're interested or what your credentials or story is, and we'll vet that. And we need to understand a little bit better to make sure it's the right fit. But we're excited to do so. And so with that, until round 10, thank you for viewing and subscribing. Be well.
Be well.